just happened to be the same cycle that the president ran in when he ran. He was running as a Democrat, I was running as a Republican. And then 2 years later I did another trip around the state. It's a beautiful state, by the way, and you really get to see a lot of it if you have to do a primary campaign, because primary campaigns are not media. They are they're tire and walking. Yeah, it's a lot of you're in a lot of front seat car time. And I ran for the Republican nomination for governor and then lieutenant governor. So since then I've been doing public affairs consulting. I was very active while I was in the legislature in some of the national associations that the 50 states operate in. And there's a real problem, I think, in getting good data and good information to the state legislators. And there's a lot of good organizations out in D.C. that have a lot of good data that they prepare for Congress, but there's no connection between their good data, their good information, and the 50 states. So I came up with kind of a proposal. I made it up and took it to 4 good groups and said, can I show you how to take what you're doing for the federal level inexpensively and help distribute it to the 50 states? And 3 of the 4 of them said yes. So most of the work I do now in consulting is I'm either at the computer helping kind of rewrite things, or I'm traveling to meetings where legislators from the 50 states gather, and I really enjoy the work. What I was really concerned about in the legislature, among other things, was making sure that the quality of decision making was well informed and that people had good information to make decisions. And so I've been able the last 4 years to work on that. The kind of current state of affairs and a lot of local people talking to me, and my concern about the direction of the state budget has led me to kind of retoss my hat into the ring, and because I just think some of the leadership, particularly those in Chicago, need to start
with the program.
Well, yeah, start talking truth. And you can't put state government on a credit card for 5 years in a row, create a structural deficit of $6 billion, and then just adjourn and say we'll talk about it after the election. So I think it's about holding them accountable. We've got nice people representing us locally, but too often I think they've not kind of muscled up with the Chicago leadership. So anyway, that's a quick snapshot about me. I'm married to a beautiful wife, Betty. I don't know why she puts up with me. We're high school sweethearts. She went to Iowa State. I went to William and Mary. We have 2 wonderful sons, 27-year-old Michael and 25-year-old Henry, and I'm within a year or so. My wife's a big fitness lady. She's a member of the Kenyon Farm Runners, which is about a 20-year-old Elgin running group. They used to run from Kenyon's Dairy Farm before it became a high school.
Yeah, now it's South Elgin. Or part of it's now South Elgin High School. Well, it's still some farm there. Yeah.
And that's led her to run in 3 Chicago marathons.
Ooh, that's good.
I'm very lucky she still keeps me. We bicycle a lot together. We once biked, did a 6-day vacation. We took a train from Frankfurt into Prague, and then threw away our suitcases, bought 2 bikes and saddlebags, and cycled through the Czech Republic.
I heard the story was the government took your suitcase. I didn't hear the throwing away. Did you, Mike? Wasn't that one?
The good news is if you do vacations like that, you can almost eat what you want. If you spend 6 hours in a bicycle saddle, you can drink all the good Czechoslovakian beer and have all the schnitzel you want.
But listen, did you have anybody following you in a wagon, sag wagon? with any kind of
we had one breakdown. We had one breakdown, and we found a Czech farmer. Got off his tractor, got his toolkit out, and fixed the sprocket on my bike. No, people were just wonderful.
Could he speak English?
What did you do about clean underwear?
Or you could say sprocket.
No, we had saddlebags. We had
Yeah, but I would need... saddlebags need saddlebags.
You're like Miss Kitty on the road. They're roughing it a little bit.
We washed a lot of stuff out in the sinks at the hotels. But the Czech Republic is just absolutely beautiful. A lot of it escaped or missed the bombing in World War II. Like Prague is just a beautiful city. We were there the year of the Great Flood, that when the Prague Zoo was flooded out, you may not remember, about 6-7 years ago.
Wow.
So we've always tried to kind of do active vacations. Yeah, we like to travel. I'm a kind of a airfare website rat, looking for good airfare.
Your wife's also involved with a run in the future, isn't she?
Yes. She is working with a group that is sponsoring the Helping Hands 5K run. To be the 2nd year, it's going to be August 28th, at the new golf course that the city of Elgin just took over. I think it's called Bowes Creek, right? Right. They did it last year, and I think they raised over $3,000 for the Boys and Girls Club and the Crisis Center. And this year they hope to do a little better. So And you know, those runners, they just love T-shirts and plastic bags with coupons. So keep that
Everybody
in mind.
loves
The crisis
that.
center there,
Come on.
Bruce Johnson, your guest next week probably is.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you know
Yeah,
Bruce
yeah,
real
yes,
well, yeah,
I
because
do.
everything.
He's coming on
crisis-
next week.
And my wife's on the crisis center board, so I've seen Bruce a lot and heard
Yeah,
report. I mean, we talk about courageous. And
Oh, he's
boy,
tremendous.
What a
You've
run.
got quite a story. You'll learn that next week.
You know what?
yeah.
Karina Albert Shepard sent me an email. I met her Saturday
Yeah.
at the event.
We call her Carrie.
Carrie, okay. Well, I don't know if she sent a Karina Albert Shepard.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I
I
know.
told her that I would mention the Musicians on a Mission benefit concert this Saturday, June 12th, 7 p.m., First United Methodist Church, 318 West Main Street, West Dundee, Illinois. Come enjoy an evening of toe tapping, spirited folk and praise music while supporting the Community Crisis Center and the Fish Food Pantry. And then it lists all the musicians, and the admission is a donation of non-perishable food items for the Fish Food Pantry and free will offering to support the Community Crisis Center. Come prepared to support Fish and the Community Crisis Center and enjoy a musical evening. And their business number is 847-742-4088, and their hotline number remains the same. They got a new business number, and I am delighted to let folks know about that
Since you
event.
love Oprah so much, a couple years ago at the Crisis Center fundraiser, they had Oprah tickets. And,
Oh,
and
no
they
kidding.
auctioned them off, and an Elgin couple put in a hefty bid to go to an Oprah
Oprah
show.
show.
Well,
Very nice
speaking
of them,
of
Carrie.
It's a bigger deal than the Bozo show.
It is, yeah.
For a
The
long
Bozo
time.
show for
When
your
I was
day,
growing
yeah.
up, yeah, with the
Oh,
Bozo
boy.
show.
Bozo tickets.
Yeah, Bozo
People,
tickets.
people would get them, order them when their kid was born, so
Yes,
that for when
they
they were in
were old
kindergarten.
enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I remember those days.
That was a great show. I never
Yeah.
met
But
her.
speaking of Oprah, she's having this contest about, she's looking for a new talk show host.
I'm thinking
and-
George Rollinson would make a darn good host when I was thinking.
Well, I was thinking along the lines of Laura the
Oh,
Laura
I'm
Dion-Jones
sorry.
show.
I walk into a broadcast facility, I get confused.
Yes, thank
We're
you.
all loosely broadcasters.
Loosely isn't the word,
Yeah.
yes. Listen, would y'all vote for me?
You bet.
Thank you. I'm
All right,
allergic to
there.
it.
Well, see, he knows voting.
So
system.
back to the
That's right.
Senator Steve here. Let's tell our listeners about your role in Illinois job creation. I heard you say, or I read where you said, for Illinois to have a strong future, we need strong job growth. Well, one of the things that I can help you with is to create jobs here in Illinois, and I would like the opportunity to tell you about it someday, if not
Oh, sure.
today,
Absolutely.
but with different, aqua ranch, aqua farming, and different sources of
Aquaculture,
energy.
sure.
Aquaculture, yes, I do have a couple of proposals that I would like to present
Excellent.
to you, and also to the other senator and to the mayor. And Dave Captain was here last week.
Sure.
Wasn't he here last week? Yes.
Yep, sure was.
And I would love to get,
Sure.
somehow schedule you and Dave Captain to come and see this operation, and I don't know if it would, the schedules would match.
Oh, I
And
bet you we can make it work. If
Siggy
Captain, I mean,
Seminos,
sure.
maybe get her to come. My car holds
'Cause
5.
when you think about Illinois, 750,000 people have moved out of the state of Illinois in the last decade, and that's in large measure because we have less economic opportunity here than we should have. We're one of only 3 states in the nation that's actually losing population, and we have one of the highest unemployment rates in the Midwest. So as we look at innovation and begin to kind of make government pay attention, if we had those 750,000 people and we had Indiana's unemployment rate, your budget structural problem would be very different, much, much smaller. So, when I was in the General Assembly, we, back in the downstate prisons, they actually did a lot of work with aquaculture. And what's the white fish that everybody...
Tilapia.
Tilapia, yes, yeah.
My
Healthy
friend
for
Miles
you.
Harston,
Yes.
who owns Aqua Ranch in Flanagan, Illinois,
Yes.
is one of the country's top front runners of this movement, and he's the person that I want to take you
Oh, love
and Dave
to meet
to
with him.
see, and
Sure.
to see the facility that he put in a high school in Chicago. He's doing one at Chicago State, and then there is another. It's like a top secret thing that involves renewable, sustainable energy, but from garbage and different
Sure.
things like that. And so, if you and I can get together with Dave Captain and Siggy Seminos, I would love to see us take a ride
love
out
to
there
do that.
one day soon.
The problem they ran into in Illinois with tilapia farming is they did it through the Department of Corrections, and then to dress
Oh.
the fish, you had to give them knives. So they had but it was very successful. There's a lot of, where they've
Sharp
done
knives,
pit,
too.
where they've done pit coal mining down there. There's a lot of depressions that are easy. I mean, so it's actually kind of a big thing down south. You're right on point.
And I
your
think
idea
that
is
this
great.
would, I think personally that this would
This could be something
take
George could
the
do on
men,
weekends.
sure, in between his new talk show,
Yeah. Yeah.
the Laura Dion-Jones talk show.
Starring
But
George
anyway, this
Rollinson.
would take, I think if we could get something going in the state, especially in Elgin as a role model to the rest of the country. I think that this is something that really could benefit everyone and help regenerate the economy.
Yes, absolutely. I think we need to be a lot more innovative in the state of Illinois. Couldn't agree more.
How do we get the state out of its current budget crisis?
Well, you know, we were just talking a little bit about it. First of all, if you're in a hole, the first thing you do when you're in a hole is stop digging. For 4 of the last 5 years, the General Assembly has increased spending, so we've got to stop digging our hole deeper. But most important, then you got to get Illinois growing again. You know, if you can bring those people back,
Literally
if you can
growing.
create opportunity for people. It's employment and economic activity that will solve the budget problem in Illinois, which is why I'm very concerned that the first tool out of some politicians' toolboxes is, don't make me do the hard work of thinking, just give me a tax increase.
No.
I mean, if you raise taxes, you actually send the reverse message. We already have some of the highest property taxes in the country in the state of Illinois. We have the highest sales tax in America in Cook County, just next to us. We don't need to raise income tax and send the message. And we need to talk positively about business development, like your discussion about aquaculture and about innovation.
It could take the, excuse me, it could take the coal miners out of the coal mines.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm going with this. Will help us end our dependence on fossil fuels. And this whole thing down in the Gulf of Mexico has really got my shorts in a wad, because I was born in south of Miami, but we have a home on Fort Myers Beach. I have friends
really?
who live in that area,
Yeah, it's
oyster
beautiful down
fishermen, and it just, did I say a bad thing?
No, no.
You're
No.
giving me wrinkles.
I'm
like-
Shorts in my wad is
Yeah, it's in the playbook.
Kind of made me snicker.
I've heard
I'm
it
sorry,
before.
but you know what I mean. Every
Very
week I
serious
bring up
topic.
this oil
Yeah.
thing, and later on I was going to talk about the guys that Larry King had on Monday night, which I especially watched because it was James Cameron with his deep
yeah.
sea submersible, and I kept thinking the whole time that this oil spill thing is going, I kept thinking, when is Cameron going to get involved with this? And Cousteau's son, because they have the impartial submersibles to go there and get their own pictures and see what's what.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I know far too many small businesses that could need lower taxes. They
Yes.
then and you guys need to provide tax incentives to those who really are the backbone of the state's economy.
The problem in Illinois is taxation, regulation, and litigation. We're one of the worst jurisdictions in the country for what they call jackpot justice and abusive lawsuits. We are one of the most highly regulated states in the country, because we have a General Assembly that sits around year-round thinking up good ideas for other people to do, and we have some of the highest taxes. And until you deal with those three things, we're really putting a burden on small business people. And that's why, you know, I wanted to
putting
make
some of
this
them out of
commitment.
business.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a crime.
It is a crime. And I'm glad you brought up jackpot litigation, because when I read about that, I didn't understand what it meant.
Yeah, it is really sad, but there are judges that sit in courthouses and make decisions and tell companies, either you pay or you're going to be dragged through court for the next, it's the settlements that are really kind of spooky. And Illinois doesn't have a very good reputation.
So listen, I hear we have a phone call.
Yes, we sure do. And again, the phone number here is 847-931-1410. Let's go to those phone lines right now, and we'll say hello and good afternoon to Joe.
Hey, Joe. I'm okay. What can I do for you today? You hear somebody laughing in here. Everybody's kind of snickering. I don't know what to think. You know, I don't know what to think. I wasn't there, and I just don't know what to think. I don't think it looks good for him. I think they got him on tape. I think that he did a lot of backpedaling. Not that I don't like the guy, but I don't know what to think. What do you all think?
Well, I spent a little time with him, and I'll tell the listener this. I'm glad he's getting his day in court, but what I hope people really take away from his whole trial is it's not just about Rod. It's about a culture down in Springfield that permits a guy like him not only to be governor, but to be reelected as governor. 2 of the 3 programs that he was criticized for and was impeached for are still in action in Springfield. They're still open. So the credibility problems in Springfield, really, hopefully this opens it up and makes legislators and the current governor and whoever gets elected a lot more serious about changing the political culture in Springfield and for that matter in Chicago.